country practice, but now the first of 2 new programmes with chef Marco.
World, Marco Pierre White is an infuriating rebel because of his very success. Defying all the traditions of the profession, he's got his own restaurant, Harvey's, in southwest London, which now ranks 4th in Britain. And at only 28 years old, he's been awarded his 2nd Michelin star.
Hello, sir. I'm just making a reservation for the 24th. And that's a Tuesday evening. So how many? And what time would you like to come?
It's another week starting. Where does your adrenaline come from?
Well, every Monday, me and Jean-Christophe count the money. We work out how much profit we've made, and that's where it begins. We start all over again.
Okay, so what is the profit?
I don't know, Jean-Christophe hasn't read the figure.
Does having a Sunday off, I mean, revitalise you, or does it actually make you feel even worse?
Having a Sunday off. It's not really long enough, because every Saturday we always go to Chinatown in some of the boys for dinner. So we leave here about 2 o'clock, get home about sort of 4 o'clock. Like yesterday, you stay in bed all day. Might watch a bit of TV in the evening. And then before you know it, it's back to work again. So the first dish we're going to do today is a panache of roast scallops and foie gras with a sauce of sauterne, which is garnished with the carrots. And basically, what we do there is we roast the scallops, roast the foie gras, on either side of the plate, carrots down the middle, then we nappy the carrots with a sauce of sauterne. So the first thing we've got to do is to actually open the scallops and remove the scallop in one actual piece rather than breaking it up, because then we won't get the nice discs. So put the knife in, 45-degree angle, down. Then under this muscle here, what we do is take that, the top, nail in between there, push it out, so it comes out in one nice whole piece. Remove the muscle for the sauce. There you go. The next thing we've got to do is actually wash the scallops incredibly quickly. Because if we just left them in the water, they're like sponges, they just absorb. And if that happens, then what happens is the flavour of the actual scallop is diluted. And then they're no good to man of beef, really. Well, they are, I suppose, but no good to Harvey's. So what we do is we take a few at a time, very gently. As you can see, Philip, just wash them. So they've been in the water about 5 seconds. See, and as you can see, they're totally clean, removed any sand. So we take some out very quickly. They've all been dried. They're all been lined up nicely, so they retain their shape. And when we want one, we know we've got a nice firm scallop, which is full flavour. The next thing we must do is actually cut the scallops. I mean, some people cut them that thin, some people cut them that thin. We make a nice wedge, We want a nicer scallop. So the first thing we're going to do, because it's going to take the longest to cook, is the foie gras. So get the foie gras, season it nicely. There, on the stove. Season that side. Now we let that brown. Sauterne sauce. To reduce the sauterne down to a glass. Add the same quantity again, bring it to the boil, monter au beurre.
Why do that?
Well, the first reduction reduces, you've got a concentrated flavour. The second one dilutes it. Bring it to the boil, so it's not too strong. Whisk in the butter. There you are. Foie gras there, ready? So, right, so that's ready now to go in the oven.
On a butter paper.
Okay, you can see we put the second batch of sauté in, brought it up to the boil, and now we just whisk in the butter to texture.
You want no reduction as the second sauté?
No, just brought to the boil, just to burn off the alcohol. Bit of lemon juice. Bit of seasoning. Yeah. That's two of the condemned finger sauces. Olive oil. Seasoned scallops. Yep. As you can see now, we're reshaping the carrots, just to warm them back up so they're still al dente. Carrots have been cooked in an emulsion. And what we do is remove scallops. There you're going the wrong way for it.
How did you arrive at the layout, Marco?
The trellis from the edge of the plates, that's where we got the idea from. The plates did the work for us. It's a lattice, so we copied the lattice with the carrots. Came down, found out it worked. Hard to get it right in service, but it took a bit of time. Then we take the foie gras. And the hot foie gras goes down one side. That with the carrots. Straight over the carrots. Keep it on the scallop side. There's your Panache foie gras sea scallops.
Harvey's, good morning. When would you like to come, madam? I can't do you. I'm full. I've got to do you. I'll tell you what I can do for you. I can do you at 9:30. You're desperate, are you? Would you like to give me your number? And your bedroom number? That sounds rather nice. Room 20. I'll have you a nice table. Bye-bye. Harvey's restaurant, good morning. Have you got the right number for the head chef? Who would you like to speak to? Yes, we've got 3 of them. If I could ask you to confirm that day in advance. On the Monday. Thank you. Bye-bye. It is Marco White speaking, yes. Bye-bye, sir. Hello, Harvey's. Who is calling? I'm sorry, Marco is in Paris today. He is. He will not be back until Tuesday the 30th. Yes. You can ask me anything. But whether you get an answer is another question. It's finished now. Hello, Harvey's restaurant. Will you please stop ringing up, Harvey's? You drive me crazy, okay? Bye-bye.
The flesh of that salmon has to be pretty firm to withstand that slicing that you're doing down there.
Sure, I mean, it can't be too firm. I mean, sometimes salmon can be too fresh. It's got to have a couple of days' rest. Otherwise, it's got rigor mortis within it. And they're too hard to fillet.
How many portions do you get out of that? Say that
4.
side. 4.
4 out of the whole fish. So that's the first stage of the beurre de tomate or the tomato butter sauce. Basically, we've got the little cherry tomatoes. We put them in the liquidizer, skins, seeds, everything. Liquidize them for about 30 seconds, just to break down the pulp. And then what we do is we actually pass them through a very fine sieve to remove them.
And it's just tomatoes and butter, this sauce?
Just tomatoes and butter. A little olive oil. So we have the tomato puree here. which is brought to the simmer, and then it's liaised with olive oil and butter, finished with a little seasoning, little orange juice, tomato concasse and fresh truffles. And then the salmon's poached for about 2 minutes in goose fat.
Goose fat
Goose
with
fat.
fish.
It's got a nice subtle flavour, and it gives the salmon a great flavour. And salmon's a very oily fish anyway, so it's not if it's turning it into grease, because it's only poached in there, and it's removed out, and no flavour's lost. So that will take about 2 minutes in there.
Won't that absorb the fat, though, because it's not hot?
Well, you're sealing it. You're sealing everything with inside the salmon. We put the puree of tomatoes on, which we did to begin with, by just liquidizing the tomatoes on the stove, just to bring it up, not to boil it, because if you boil it, then you separate it, it splits out. Add the butter.
It seems to me that your dishes are getting simpler the more confidence that you gain.
Simplicity has been always the secret to everything. It really has. The more you add, the more you're taking away, really, so you've got to know when to stop. So we've got the texture, nice and velvety. Then we add a few truffles, just to give it that earthy flavour. It's so fresh, just to get the balance.
It smells very powerful.
A little tomato concasse. Little orange. Little pepper. Little salt. That's ready now. Now we just warm it slowly on the stove.
Heat in this kitchen seems to grow.
So now, then we sauce the plate. Salmon. Then we have the scallop of salmon with the tomatoes and the truffle. Most of my picture take on this dish from the magazine.
Which magazine? Which magazine was it?
Which magazine?
Which magazine?
Which?
What, which?
Which chef?
Which chef? Which chef of the year? Narvik got it, didn't he?
Huh?
Narvik got it. Yeah.
Did he win it?
Yeah. He was in it last year as well, 2 years ago. Well,
Well, when I was a kid, I used to do a lot of fishing. Every week I used to fish 2-3 times a week. I suppose it's very nice. It's sort of, it allows your imagination or your mind just to drift. There's no pressure.
Behave yourself, don't fall.
Fishing is one of those things is you don't have to apply much thought to it. You just cast in and you just sort of think. And you sort of just lay there on the bank, sort of just watching the end of your rod in the sky. And I mean, it's very simple, it's very therapeutic. And if you catch something, you catch something. If you don't, you don't. It's great. It's great. Simple. And I suppose that is a great asset, having that on ones with common.
I got the feeling we've just been stitched. Bring in the log, Stephen.
Yeah, wind the log in, boy. You'll do all right there, believe me. I saw a man catch a tench there last year.
Okay, the next dish we're going to do is a very, very simple dish. It's just fried liver and onions. It's for those viewers who can't go outside and afford foie gras or scallops or lobster, and also don't have the skill to prepare these dishes.
Two-star chefs, of course, never cry, especially when they're peeling onions.
The only time I can imagine a two-star chef crying is either if he goes from 2 to 3 or from 2 to 1, whichever way.
Calves liver and onions.
Great marriage. Half of Britain was brought up on it.
But not calves liver, of course.
Depends where you came from. I suppose if you came from Yorkshire, it was pig's liver. I suppose if you're in the south, it was calf's liver.
Did you eat pig's liver as a child?
Well, I suppose as a kid I didn't know whether it was pig's liver or calf's liver. But now, thinking back to when I was a kid, it can't be calf's liver.
You didn't like it?
I don't think... No, it was horrible. So you take a little butter, just a little, don't need that much.
That's for the onions, is it?
Yeah. So first we've got to melt that.
Calves liver isn't a stranger to your menu, but onions would be.
No, when we do the, say for example we do the calves liver with limes for lunch menu, we always serve it on a bed of caramelised onions.
Do you?
Always. So your butter's starting to sizzle now. It's getting there. Right.
How can you cook anything slowly on such a hot oven?
Who said fried onions should be cooked slowly?
Well, I always thought they should be. I thought that was the secret of them. It obviously isn't.
If you cook them very, very slowly, you remove the acidity, sure. And you'll bring out the natural sugar, which will give them a natural sweetness. But I want that nice roasted flavour, so I want them to get nice and brown.
There's nothing quite like the smell of frying onions, is there?
Well, I don't know. I could think of a few things much nicer. So as you can see now, they're nicely caramelised. We drain them of their fat. I personally like a touch of vinegar.
Like sherry vinegar.
Yeah, it helps cut the richness of the calf liver. But then, yeah, it's horses for courses, and there's our. So the first thing we do to the calf's liver is actually salt it. Then we lay it in the flour. Same again. Then we turn it over in the flour and coat it nicely. And what we do is just off the extra flour, so it's like so. And then we lay the liver in. So just check to see it's caramelised nicely. We'll turn it.
You're looking for a hardish texture on the other side, are you?
No, just nicely golden brown.
And pink inside?
Pink inside. One of the secrets of cooking liver is to have a nice temperatured pan. If it's too hot, when you put your liver in, it scorches the flour, which is dusty, so that's no good. If you put it in when it's too cold, what happens then is it actually goes soggy. So temperature is very important. At this moment in time, that's very rare inside still. As you can see, it's got the bounce. As it starts to firmen up, you know that's going close to well done. A way of telling whether it's pink without actually feeling it is when the blood starts to come to the surface, then it's medium. Okay, that's how I like it. I like it very pink. Take it out of the pan. Drain it of its fat. There's the liver. There we are. Nice with the onions and vinegar.
No, it's the business. Especially with the vinegar, it brings the onions out.
Where'd you get it from?
What?
Albert Room.
I found it. Do you know who it belongs to?
Don't
My
tell.
mentor. The business.
Our mentor.
Our mentor. The man.
The boss.
Albert.
Well, you tell me no way. Get working. I got 8 little fingers and only 2 thumbs. Will you leave me in peace while I get the job done? Can't you see I'm working?
Come on, you get up.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what work is. They don't know what pressure is. I mean, in the service, we've got 2 minutes, 1 minute, 15 seconds to get something from the kitchen to a table which is hot. It's been on a constant treadmill. And like Harvey's kitchen, I'll be quite truthful, it's counterproductive now because there's more bodies in there, there's more equipment in there. It's just becoming smaller all the time, so therefore it's almost like being penned in.
Henry Gordon. I asked for the bass and I still haven't got it in. Why haven't I got the bass in, Stephen?
Right, please.
Quickly, I want these 3 terrine. Service, come on, table 16.
A lot of the time when I lose my temper in the kitchen is because people put me in the shed.
Well, if it's necessary, yes, then yes. If it's not, then no. Don't ask me a stupid question.
There's no way I can sort of explain why I go crazy, really, apart from when people are spending a lot of money and it's got to be done right.
Hey. You see the difference? You see that's not going to bleed, okay? Yeah, go.
At the end of the day, we've got to get results, and I don't care how we get them. I don't care how many boys we've got to go through to get them.
You do lose your temper quite a lot. Stephen, you've been on the receiving end. What's going on in your head when Marco's doing that?
Not a lot, really, because, I mean, when that happens, it's never not for a reason. It's always for a reason, that reason being that you've done something wrong or something that you shouldn't have done. So if that wasn't, if you weren't bollocks, so to speak, then I wouldn't be learning, and Marco wouldn't be, it'd be bad on him, not showing me, correcting me or something. It's just Marco's way.
Hey, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. What the is this shit? Hey? If you want to do things like that, go to a florist. Yeah.
2 bees, 1 lamb, 1 pigeon.
You're learning all the time. And that's the way you maintain
Can we get
standards.
the relay back, Jean-Chris?
What is it you want from your boys?
Jean-Chris?
I want intelligence. I want loyalty. I want finesse out of them. And I want a lot of hours. If they can't give me all those things, then they're no good to me. When people are spending a lot of money and it's got to be done right, then it's got to be right. I mean, we've got to look at it like this. If we were sitting in that restaurant and we were given a piece of meat which was well done, or a sauce which was overreduced, or something which was wildly undercooked, we would be very upset. And we'd go away tomorrow and say, God, went there last night, it was a load of crap.
Have you eaten any of mine? Have you eaten mine here before?
No rush.
Marco, ça marche. 1 tag, 1 panache, 1 pigeon, 1 beef.
I think you'll find this rather an amusing little vintage, actually.
15 et 11. Comme la 6.
It's a fillet of turbot.
Thanks very much.
For Monsieur the big structure. Delicious. Thank you.
Service.
Ça marche, Marco, tout cover.
Excuse me?
Delicious orangey.
So how is Eva? Has she recovered?
Anyway, so
Quickly, I want these 3 terrine. Service, come on, table 16. 12 plates, we're not football. Quickly, 1 minute on the pass.
They're in there right behind me everywhere that I go. My body is screaming down a telephone line and say, gimme, 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 say,
And Marco will be back at the same time next week.